because this is our fourth time we've done it. So we know all about it now. So Time with Love is a monthly show that presents kind of our three books that deal with love chronologically. So
right, we
Tonya
all have
Todd's
calendar books that were related to love. So the three of us joined forces to meet monthly, and we decided to bring in a guest author along the way because it's more fun to celebrate love with more people.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So you can reach us all on various social media and websites. Why doesn't everybody say I'm on Substack? I'm doing a story a day in Substack, and also I'm on Facebook and Instagram. And you can find me under Richard May 1313.
I am on various channels. So Facebook is where I usually live, but I'm on Insta, I'm on BookBub, just all the places. If you look up Hadley Raydeen, you Google me, you'll find me.
And I'm on Instagram and Facebook. The best place to keep abreast of what I'm doing is through my newsletter.
And Lory, what about you? How can they reach you?
Well, basically, I think the best way to reach me is through my website, lahyderjones.com.
Cool.
I always respond that way. Otherwise, I haunt Facebook, and I am connected to X, which was known as Twitter, of course, and Instagram. But basically, my website and Facebook.
Thanks. And now we'll get going on today's program. I'll start off. My book is Gay All Year, which is 12 stories, one for each month. And everything I write concerns how men might meet men. I'm an optimist, and I want people to believe that they can always find love wherever and whenever, no matter how old or what strange place they're in. So, and also start a relationship. Each of my stories in Gay All Year is keyed to a holiday or event that month. For instance, April, where we are, is the story's called Ripe Fruit, and you'll find out what that means when I read a little bit for you. It concerns two men who meet buying fruit trees at a nursery. I told you anywhere, anytime. And the holiday involved is Arbor Day, which maybe is not your most famous April holiday, but the holidays in the book are a mixture of weird ones and more usual ones. So now I'll read you a few minutes from Ripe Fruit. Can I help you? A male voice asked. I turned, ready with my list of questions. A young Chicano was standing behind me. The fabric of his forest green polo shirt stretched almost to bursting across his chest. Sir, can I help you? His voice repeated. His eyes were laughing at me like they'd seen this all many times before. Yes, I stuttered. I'd like to buy some trees. My eyes shifted rapidly to the brightly colored photos of ripe fruit on tags hanging from a row of trees near us. Juicy Gravenstein apples, dangling Anjou pears, darkest red Bing cherries, fecund honey babe peaches. I felt so embarrassed. You were looking for fruit trees? The young man asked, following my stare. I nodded yes, guiltily. What kind of fruit? He prompted, taking a fatal step next to me. I willed my hands to remain at my sides. What do you suggest? I asked, blushing as red as a Washington Delicious. You like Fuji apples? He asked. He moved down the row. My eyes followed his rotating walk, his khakis riding low on his hips, his green shirt tucked haphazardly into his pants. Produces good if you have a lot of sun, he informed me. I have lots of sun, I confirmed enthusiastically. Nodded, bent over, exposing brown skin and a glimmer of red underwear. I wiped sweat off my forehead. Here are a couple of good ones, the young man said, and straightening up. He held two young trees like dumbbells. My eyes grazed from tree to tree across his chest. His name tag read Alejandro. Which one do you like? A thicker trunk is better, he prompted. Alejandro had a thick trunk and a Mayan face. I thought of museum statues of squat, muscular men stolen from Mayan architecture. Alejandro would look like that if he were naked. A film rolled in my mind. He shook the trees at me to bring my attention back to commerce. That one, I said, indicating his right arm. Alejandro pointed it at me. I accepted the tree. It was heavier than it looked. Anything else, he asked? Pears, maybe? A ripe pear is really tasty. I nodded vigorously in agreement. Here's a Bosque, he said. It keeps better. Or maybe you'd rather have a Bartlett. He bent over, checking tags. Bosque, I managed to squeak out. It's a little more money. He turned around to look at me. His eyes widened. Tan grande, he whispered. I said I'd take the pear tree too without asking how much money tan grande was. How about a cherry and a citrus, he asked, his eyes still focused on my crotch. Then you will have ripe fruit all year. I like ripe fruit, I said in a stronger voice. The longer he leaned over, the more definite I felt about it. Maybe I should. I squashed my maybe like a bug. He was way too young. Why don't I get a cart? The kid said decisively and moved off toward the main building, his ass swinging rhythmically from side to side. My brain intervened during his absence. How much was this costing me? I totaled the price tags. Over $200 before tax. Did I even have space in my new backyard for 4 trees? How big would they get? What would my neighbors think? Maybe I should put one back, but which one? I really did want ripe fruit all year. Firm, fresh, nubile. Squeaking wheels made me jump. Alejandro was pushing a trolley straight at me. He stopped just before he hit the apple tree, which he took from me and placed on the trolley, followed by the pear. He chose a cherry and an orange with a raised eyebrow in my direction. Young, too young, I chanted under my breath as my arm reached out to accept his selections. My fingertips grazed a knuckle, totally accidentally. Alejandro jammed his hands into his pockets, which made him look even younger. You need any soil amendments? He asked, rocking back and forth on his feet. I said yes without really understanding the question, and stumbled after him as he steered the cart toward stacks of plastic bags. So thank you very much for listening. And that's the opening. So if you thank you. If you liked those few words, it gets even better. And if you like conflict and younger, older, that's the story. So the holiday, as I mentioned, is National Arbor Day. So what is Arbor Day? I mean, maybe some of you know what it is and some of you don't. It's a day set aside to celebrate trees. Pretty simple. This year it's April 25th, and it was founded by, naturally enough, the National Arbor Day Foundation, which is strangely in Nebraska, where there aren't a lot of trees. But maybe that's why they appreciate trees more in Nebraska. And the idea behind the Arbor Day Foundation and Arbor Day itself is to get us to think about trees and their importance to the planet and their importance to us. So the Arbor Day Foundation encourages people to plant and take care of trees, whether they're on their own property or they're in a park or in a national forest someplace. So the next thing, before I turn it over to Tonya, is that we are going to have a contest. We've had a monthly contest each of the months that we've done this. And this month, we're doing April Fools, another one of those April holidays. So you can participate and win a prize by telling us in the chat, in 2 or 3 sentences maybe, what the best April Fool's prank you ever pulled, or maybe the best April Fool's prank that was pulled on you. And then at the end of the show, the 4 of us authors will each pick a winner from the chat, the best prank that we thought, and we will award you the prize that we've selected. So my prize is 10 trees planted in a national forest by the Arbor Day Foundation. And thank you for listening, and now I'll turn it over to Tonya.
It's just a lovely gift. I really appreciate that gift. I wish I had thought of that.
You have a good one too, Tonya.
Oh, yours is way cooler. But I want to talk about your piece first, really fast, because you really, it's one thing to center these stories on the different holidays, but you made an effort to use details that kind of allude to what you're choosing. He's wearing a green shirt, and just the things that he's buying a tree, just all of these things. You're using language that keeps us in the mindset of trees and Arbor Day. And you could have just made that some boring story about a tree, and instead you made it really sensual and filled us with all of those little details. I appreciated that. And I also appreciated it stretching across the skin, I'll admit. But I caught that too, but that wasn't necessarily an Arbor Day thing. That was just
I try to write sexy stories.
Yes, well, you managed that. So we are, again, celebrating time with love. My piece in this is that I have written a book called 52 Love, and it's a nonfiction book. Mine's not a romance novel. Mine is about improving intimacy in relationships. So I have one tip per week that gives you a tip to improve intimacy in your specific relationship or relationships. And this month, I'm going to be featuring Tip 16, which is learn by heart. And I will go ahead and read that, and then we will talk about how that relates to what we're doing here. So, learn by heart. Acquiring new proficiencies is essential to individual growth. For this week's 52 Love Tip, I propose a way for you and your partner to develop as a healthy, productive couple. Learn a new skill together. I'm not just talking about how to make ceramics ghost style, although that would certainly work. There's a whole world of new skills available to study together. You could give ballroom dancing a whirl, or hone the art of sensual massage. Take archery lessons or develop matching calluses as you both learn to play guitar. Try your hands at calligraphy, then scribe loving notes or poems to one another. Better yet, learn a new language together. Linguistics require frequent practice. When you learn with a partner, you have someone to help exercise your tongue's proficiency. This type of new skill might even inspire a vacation to a country that speaks the language. At home or abroad, it won't be long before you incorporate your new vocabulary into your lovemaking, spicing up an additional area of your romantic life. Working together will keep you each accountable and provide someone to celebrate your successes. You'll sharpen your skills through repetition and competition. When you learn with a partner, it increases the chances that the new information will stick. You'll each absorb different pieces and learn more concretely when you review them together. And because you can access the review partner so readily, you improve your opportunities to test what you've both learned. This process creates a sense of teamwork, which builds on the love that you share and will carry over to other aspects of your love life. Most importantly, this quality time allows you to learn something new about yourself and about each other, which keeps the relationship fresh. And that's the piece that I'm sharing today. And my holiday that I'm talking about today is Earth Day. So I'm going to give you a few tips that, I'll admit I stole from Time magazine, but they're still essential. Earth Day dates back to 1970 when US-based organizers were hoping to bring awareness about the environmental degradation they were witnessing across the country. The holiday is a reminder of the work that must be done to protect our planet and celebrate the progress of what has been made. Earth Day was created by Gaylord Nelson, a Democratic senator from Wisconsin, because of his concern over the state of the US environment in the 1960s. More than 20 million people participated in the first Earth Day on April 22nd, 1970. The event shut down Manhattan's Fifth Avenue as people demonstrated and participated in street cleanups. The Environmental Protection Agency was created on December 2nd, 1970 as a direct response of the first Earth Day. Earth Day went global in 1990, and through the Canopy Project, tens of millions of trees have been planted on Earth Day, which brings us back to Arbor Day. And so the gift that I am giving for our April Fool's contest is Earth Day stickers. So a collection of Earth Day stickers, save the planet, protect the climate, plant a tree, all of these things that all just happen to be related in April. Ooh, I missed that comment. It went so fast. Will you show us again, Joe?
Probably somebody loves stickers.
Oh, okay. So we weren't supposed to see it. Oh, teasers. That's what we're doing. Teasing you of what is to come. Maybe it's something about. Maybe it's one of the contest entries. It was just so fast. So before I pass the mic, I want to share with you what we're doing for the end of year. As we said, we are doing this every month, and we are encouraging for you to show up with us each month. And, we have a contest every month, engage in the contest. And for the person who is, the Time with Love superfan, the one who engages the most, puts the most in the comments, the person who has just been here to celebrate with us month after month, what we are giving them is an entire library of books from the authors that have been on this journey with us. So that's all 3 of our books, plus books from each author who visits. So you get a whole love library. Isn't that awesome?
A love library. I like that.
And now I pass the mic to Hadley, who has more steamy love.
More steamy love. That's what I do. Hey, friends. So I am Hadley Raydeen. My series is the Bachelor series, which is as Rick said earlier at the top of the show, it is a monthly book that comes out once a month. And this month I am talking about Mr. April. It is the 4th full-length book in my series. It's a slow burn romance that follows Dr. Andreas Andy Santos. He's a quiet-driven physical therapist with a deep passion for healing the body, and Epiphany Piffa Stone, a bold, magnetic rising music star, thrust into fame's spotlight. And when their worlds collide, first through a medical emergency and then through fate, Dr. Andy is forced to confront the very thing he's been hiding from, which is public attention, intimacy, and a vulnerability of love. Through therapy, music, and the unraveling of secrets, their chemistry grows undeniable, but it's desire enough when 2 people live in such a different world. So this story is about healing in more ways than one, physically, emotionally, and relationally. And since April is National Poetry Month, which I will be talking about in just a bit, I want to highlight how Mr. April celebrates poetry in 2 ways. It's through lyrics, which is Epiphany's music in a form of soul-bearing truth and touches Andy deeper than he wants to admit, and through motion, which is Andy's work as a physical therapist. It is a kind of poetry too. So human body in motion, recovery and progress, those are something that we're deeply going to be talking about, and beautiful throughout. So here's an excerpt from Mr. April. I'm standing here at Sagaponack Festival, surrounded by a lively buzz of the crowd, with a cold beer in hand and a plate full of delicious food. The entertainment on stage fills the air, but Epiphany, Piffa Stone, commands attention with her stunning presence amidst it all. I try to divert my gaze, focusing instead on scanning the crowd. That's when I spot Hayden Church, the charismatic rocker, mingling effortlessly. A nod passes between us, a silent acknowledgement of our shared space in this vibrant atmosphere. But despite my efforts, my eyes keep returning to the stage, drawn to Piffa. Her voice resonates like a siren song, effortlessly captivating the audience. She sings something raw and powerful. Her alternative rock melodies mixed with eclectic carrying over the crowd. Her black hair dances in the breeze, and the sunlight catches her dark skin, casting a radiant glow. Clad in a shimmering ensemble that leaves little to the imagination, she exudes a magnetic allure that's impossible to ignore. Watching her, I find myself captivated by her beauty, letting my gaze linger on her figure. But just as quickly as the thought arises, I push it aside. How could I even entertain the idea of getting involved with someone like her? She's accustomed to the spotlight, thriving in its glow, while I prefer the quiet on the sidelines, away from the glare of attention. You see, I'm just a doctor. I'm dedicated to the art of healing, restoring the body's natural balance and function. I aim to assess, diagnose, and treat various musculoskeletal conditions and injuries as a doctor of physical therapy. From head to toe, I specialize in helping people regain their mobility, alleviating their pain, and enhancing their physical well-being. Whether it's guiding someone through the rehabilitation process after a sports injury or providing relief from chronic pain, I'm there to offer support and expertise every step of the way. Despite my best efforts, I cannot tear my attention away from the sound of Piffa's voice. It wraps around me like a warm blanket, drawing me in despite my resistance. I can't help but hum along, tapping my foot to the rhythm like a complete goon. Why am I so inexplicably drawn to this woman? As she moves across the stage, her presence commands the spotlight, captivating every eye in the audience. I watch as she effortlessly navigates the space, her body moving with an almost otherworldly grace. Every step she takes, every sway of her hips sends a shiver down my spine. And then there's her voice, this deep bass, a tender timbre like nothing I've ever heard before. It resonates within me, stirring something long and dormant. At that moment, she sounds like everything I've ever wanted in my life. But what do I want in my life? It's a question I haven't dared to ask myself in years. My thoughts are interrupted as I take a bite from my plate, savoring the exquisite flavors of the food. I'm grateful for this moment of distraction and the chance to ground myself in life's simple pleasures. The Spring Festival holds a special place in my heart, a nostalgic reminder of my childhood, and I'm grateful for my client turned friend for his role in reviving this cherished tradition. As I turn away from the stage, attempting to ignore the woman who's singing that has entranced me, I collide with Genesis Jones, the journalist from Forrester Media. She'll be interviewing me for this month's article of the Bachelor series, and I know our meeting needs to happen sooner rather than later. Hello, Dr. Santos, she greets me with a warm smile as she takes a bite of her funnel cake. Hey, Genesis. I'm Andy, please. What do you think of the festival? Are you having a good time here? You already know I am, she replies enthusiastically. And the food, oh my God. I chuckle, nodding in agreement. Yeah, everything is delicious, I say, taking another sip of my beer. I raise my bottle to her as she does the same. Cheers, she says. Cheers, I laugh. So I know we have an appointment to meet next week at my office about Mr. April's article. Are you ready for that? Of course I am, Genesis replies confidently. Are you? I murmur, raising an eyebrow. Not, she assures me. I promise it'll be painless. I just want to delve into the meat and potatoes of your background, how you become a physical therapist, what you're doing in your life, and your love life, of course. That's what the readers want to hear. God, my love life, I scoff, rolling my eyes. Oh, or the lack thereof, she clarifies. So there's no one special in your life? Not at all, I confess. I haven't had a girlfriend since college, and that was, 10-ish years ago? I just haven't had the time. Just as I open my mouth to say more, Piffa hits a high note on the stage, and it is mesmerizing. My face instinctively turns towards her, my eyes drawn in as she belts out a note. Good Jesus, I mutter under my breath. She's good, right? Genesis comments beside me. Her tone, her body goes on for days, right? Yes, for days, I echo, a hint of admiration in my voice. I respect and study the body. I know its ins and outs as a physical therapist, what makes it move and react, and she is working with a lot. She is gorgeous, I admit. Oh my, Dr. Santos, does he have a crush? Genesis teases. I turn to her quickly, caught. What are you talking about? A crush? No, I deny firmly. It's her turn to say, as she acknowledges my response. Before I can say anything more, a collision and a fall snap our attention back to the stage as Epiphany Piffa Stone falls off the stage. My instincts as a doctor kick in and I take off toward her. Is she hurt? God, what happened? I hear Genesis behind me and I throw over my shoulder. Call 911 immediately, Genesis. she may need help. And that's a taste of Mr. April, where healing meets harmony and two very different people learn, and love is always not convenient, but it might be exactly what they need.
Hadley, I love Genesis. I'm so glad she's a continuing character.
I love Genesis. I made her like me as much as I could.
Aha, no wonder I like Genesis.
Well, I guess we love you. You know what I really enjoyed in that was the what do I want? Like, I'm so mesmerized. I don't even know what I want in life, but I don't have a crush on her, that I'm questioning everything that I want in life.
Right. Then after all that, she like falls off the stage, like, oh my God. Yeah.
Right. My doctor instincts kick in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So before I close out, I wanted to share, that Mr. April is one of the most meaningful books in the Bachelor series for me, not just because of the story, but because it hits close home for me. So a few years ago, I did have to go through physical therapy myself. I was struggling physically, emotionally, spiritually. And if it wasn't for my incredible physical and occupational therapist team, I wouldn't be as mobile or independent as I am today. They gave me more than treatment. They gave me hope. So their encouragement helped me reclaim movement, dignity, and purpose. So in many ways, this book is a thank you to them. It's a tribute to the unsung poetry that lives in healing. So, and since April is National Poetry Month, I'll segue right into that. I want to honor that as well. The month celebrates the beauty, power, and emotional resonance of poetry in all forms, from pages of our favorite books to the spoken word and even the way we move through the world. So because for me, poetry isn't just written, it's felt, it's lived, it's in the way a body learns to walk again. It's in the melody of our voice that fills Spring Festival stage, as I just said. It's in every small, quiet act of rising after a fall. So that's why I call this moment Poetry in Moment and Poetry in Motion. And to celebrate, I want to play a really quick game, and it can be ongoing as we go. I know we already have our April Fool's thing going, but I wanted to do romance in one line. So if anybody is listening, if you could drop a love poem or a comment or something, it could be swoony, it could be spicy, it could be dramatic or sweet, something like, he looked at me while I was a plot twist he never saw coming. Just let that creativity fly. And then I'm going to pick like the best one to receive my free ebook, the copy of Mr. April, and celebrate National Poetry Month together with rhythm, romance, and a reminder that love, like poetry, has the power to move us.
Love that alliteration.
Hey.
How poetic, right?
How poetic. So thank you for that little time. And I'm happy to hand this over to Lory, our guest.
Yes, Lory in the hot seat.
I'm ready.
Yes, let's do it. Why don't you start by giving us just a brief description of what your book is? Because people haven't been, they haven't seen you month after month. You're
right.
the newbie.
Ooh, I kind of like that. Okay, I think the best way to describe what my book is about is to read the back cover. So first of all, there it is. It happened one morning, and it's rom-com fantasy. It's my very first attempt at genre. And I'm proud to say that it was given an editor's pick by Book Life reviewers.
Oh, nice.
So it's like, yes. So here we go. This is what it's about. What happens when the shaman of broken hearts pushes his luck too far? Boz Studebaker, America's #1 relationship coach, is handsome, rich, single, and can't stand the female callers on his radio show. What is it with their desperation to find and keep a man? How many times has Boz dished out advice to no avail? One day, a frustrated caller tells him, "I wish that you lived the life of a woman so that you understand." Boz snickers. "Yeah, right, whatever." The next morning, Boz wakes up and, he's turned into Bonnie. That's right, he's a woman. Terrified, Boz Bonnie is sure that caller cursed Boz, as a confused Bonnie navigates everything that is womanhood, from makeup and high heels to wedgie panty creep, tight bras, pain in the ass periods, and the undateables online. And kids? Boz hates kids. Well, Bonnie's got two now who drop into her life out of the blue. Gradually, Boz Bonnie learns that maybe the universe is guiding Boz toward the scariest thing in his life, love.
Yeah, that is fantastic. And the cover is so fitting because you see that cover with women, just it looks like a walk of shame almost carrying your shoes, but it's a man carrying the shoes. So even the cover is evocative. Like, what's that about?
Right. Well, thank you. One of our fellow writers with Sin City Writers Group is also an artist. She's a graphic artist, and she says, Lory, I really want to do this cover for you. And I said, well, okay, well, here's some conceptions I have. So I sent them to her. So she gave me what I had conceived and then what she conceived. And so what her version is the one you see right here, which is the paperback. And she just did a great job. Her name is Ruth Sakarian. So in case you want to look her up, she's the one.
Great job, Ruth.
Yeah. So
I love the premise, Lory. I mean, it's so interesting.
Thank you. Thank you.
And it says something about your writing that she was so inspired that she said, I want to do the cover for your book.
Oh, she loves the book. I mean, she was in our group when we were reading our WIP, our work in progress, chapter by chapter. And she was just laughing and laughing and laughing. And I thought, okay, this
yes, and I've heard some of it. It's great. Like you have a very clever turn of phrase. So what seems like it's just going to be this, and then you have this swerve where you're like, she knew what she was doing there. Like you've done well with the craft, and I really enjoy your writing. And so I would like to share some of that. Will you read a snippet from the book?
Yes, thank you, Tonya. My pleasure. Since this is the month of Time with Love, I would like to read chapter 39. Yes, it's taken Bonnie this long to realize what love is. And this is just the beginning. See, what happens is that Boz in Bonnie, he's trying to get out of this woman's body. All right, so you have Bonnie, she sounds like a woman, she dresses like one, etc. But it's Boz who's stuck inside, and it's like he's in jail, he's trying to get out. Well, in order for him to go back to being his masculine self in his masculine true body, he, as Bonnie, has to go through quite a few lessons learned. And the biggest one is for him, as Bonnie, to fall in love. Well, he figured, hey, since I'm attracted to women, I know Bonnie can be a lesbian. And his friend Liz says, no, that's not how it works. That's not how the curse works. And he's like, drat. So what happens, as a spoiler alert, is that Boz Bonnie gets into a horrible car accident. And what happens is Boz is no longer in the picture. He's out of this Bonnie. And so it's just Bonnie herself, 100% woman. So now she's on track to meet and fall in love. So this is chapter 39 called It's a Meetup, Not a Date. And by the way, the one who crashed into her, his name is Morgan Pasek. And he's got a thing for her now. So here we go. A month later, after the accident, the insurers settled Bonnie's case. Yes, her rate would increase substantially. Yes, her insurer would cover everything for Morgan Pasek's claims since she was at fault. No, he still was not interested in suing her, according to her attorney. Once everything was settled, she didn't give it another thought. Best not to give bad luck its due. One afternoon, after lunch, Bonnie was at her desk in the radio show, studying her healing face in her pocket mirror, when her cell phone rang. She didn't recognize the number and swiped the hang up button, then returned to eyeing how nicely her mouth was mending. The phone rang again. She hung up. It rang again. Asshole telemarketers. She answered it just to get rid of them. Whoever you are, I'm not interested. Goodbye. Well, I'm hurt. I thought we had a good time over coffee with your kids, replied her melodious male voice. She almost dropped the phone. Morgan Pasek? You remember me. That means you're not having coffee with another guy. I'm so relieved. How did he get my number? Oh, that's right. It's on our auto accident forms. She got playful. If you have a relationship or dating question, sir, you must call the station's number in 10 more minutes. I might take your question, but no guarantees. The way he growled that out, low and slow, her arm hair stood in attention. Actually, I have a question. If I ask a certain lovely lady to join me for coffee again, do you think she'll accept? Just coffee? Cheapskate. Since you sound like a gentleman, how could she resist? I like it. He paused. Nice buns. She jerked back. Excuse me? He perked up. My favorite Polish bakery is called Nice Buns. They have the best paszki around. The best what? Polish donuts. I want you to try one. What did you think I meant? When you said nice buns, I thought you were referring to me. What? Bonnie, your bruises were blooming 4 colors last I saw you. So the last thing I'm looking at is your posterior. His voice dropped with concern. How are you doing? She stopped admiring herself, put away her mirror, and paid closer attention to his attention on her. Much better. All my blooms are fading. I feel bad what I did to you. It keeps playing over and over in my head. I still feel the impact, Go to bed thinking about it, waking up thinking about it. It's bad enough I creamed your car, but Morgan, everything's fine. Touched by his distress, she played with a strand of her hair. Thank you for asking. He exhaled with relief. Good. So, paused. Look, I'm a ballsy guy, so you're probably thinking I have a lot of nerve wanting to get together with you again. The last time was great, and well, I keep thinking about you. His deference amused her. You're saying this out of guilt, a buttload of guilt. Is my Catholicism showing that much? I'm the guilty one. I caused the accident after all. He feigned surprise. You did, didn't you? Feel better? God love you, Bonnie. He paused, trying to find the right words, retrieving his ballsiness. How does the Sunday sound? I meet you at Nice Buns, say 11 a.m.? It's near you. I'll be there. Really? Great. By the way, this isn't a date. It's a meetup. I'll explain later. Gotta go to a meeting. Drive safe this time, okay? See you later. He clicked off. She stared at her phone. It's not a date? Sure sounds like one. So we have a scene change. When Bonnie entered Nice Buns, the comforting aroma of baked yeast, sugar, fruit, and chocolate made her relax. She imagined a plump, old-world type grandmother in the back kitchen, flour dusting her apron and baking away in the heat for those she loved. A lot of love lingered in the air. Her eyes darted around the bakery until she found Morgan seated at one of the white laminate tables by the window. Their eyes met, and he stood, greeting her with a big megawatt smile, his brown eyes glistening with delight. And no wonder. Bonnie looked almost flawless in her colorful spaghetti-strap sundress and sandals. Makeup camouflaged her bruises, and with her hair up and her confident stride, despite a slight limp, she wanted Morgan to see her healing. She approached him, her heart fluttering. Hi, she said softly. So glad you could make it. He motioned to a chair across from him. They sat in unison, gazing at each other in wonder. His cheeks flushed. Oh, he's adorable. I love a man who blushes. No ego. And what he wore, No baggy dad shirt but a snug-fitting black tee that hugged his thick, solid biceps and broad chest just right. Her heart's flutter picked up speed as her spirit soared like a helium balloon. You look really nice, Bonnie, but you're still limping. Those broad shoulders dropped. Again, I am so sorry. Morgan, she touched his hand in empathy. I'm doing well, honest. The left strap of her dress fell off her shoulder, and she slid it back on. I'm surprised you recognized me without the bruises and the crutches. Honestly, I was expecting the Bride of Frankenstein, but then this stunning goddess comes toward me, and I thought, screw Frankie, I want to get to know this woman. She giggled. You're cute, Mr. Pasek. He nodded to her glossy lips, no longer bruised and swollen, and smiled. Where are the kids? She put her purse on the table. They're at my condominium's child care center. Sweet deal. He nervously tapped his fingertips together. So, let's start with coffee and the pashki I told you about. He stood. Decaf again? See, I remembered. Thank you for that. And since I'm drug-free, give it to me hard. His one brow arched in surprise. What a suggestive comment coming from a lady who looked like she stepped out of Vogue. She read him. I mean fully leaded, no sugar or cream. Good, because this is only our second meeting, so get the coffee, Mr. Pasek, she playfully scolded him. Mr. Pasek? My daughter's friends call me that. He pointed to himself, imitating Tarzan. Me, Morgan. With a slight grin, he left to order, and she watched him walk away, watched his jeans hug every muscular pull of his backside just right. Football has a tight end, and so does he. She averted her stare when he returned with the goods, a sugar-powdered pashki on top of each cup. You look flushed, he said. Are you okay? Embarrassed, she turned her attention to the treat. Watch yourself. Be smart. Oh, this looks so good. He leaned forward. Bite into it. I like to bite into something else. She did so carefully, savored its fluffiness, hint of sweetness, and the Bavarian cream rolling in her mouth. Oh my, this is decadent. Freaking orgasmic. Right? He took a big bite, followed by a careful sip of hot coffee. My Polish tribe eats these on Fat Thursday before Lent. But these are so popular, this is the only bakery that makes them fresh the first Saturday of every month, except during Lent. It's why I wanted you to try one. He wiped his mouth clean of the powdered sugar. Okay, let's get to work. Aw, she pretended to pout. I want to finish my donut. It's not a donut. You've got powder on your nose. As she rubbed it off with a napkin, her strap fell again. His eyes followed as she set it back on her bare shoulder. Then their eyes locked, and he smiled. Her body flushed hot. So, Morgan, she stammered, what's the difference between a meetup and a date? He feigned shock. How can a bona fide relationship coach ask that question? I ask all kinds of questions. Humor me. Why won't you date anyone? He took another bite, another sip. She could tell he was mulling a thoughtful response. Boz used to do that. After my divorce, I did date, plunged into it with a vengeance, actually. This woman, that woman, expecting them to heal me from my divorce. Morgan shuddered. I have nothing against the ladies, understand, but the whole online dating process is a setup. All kinds of fakes, catfishers, and opportunists with their filters. I wouldn't trust them with my dog. Bonnie nodded in empathy. You have a dog? Bowser. 75 pounds of puppy fun. He finished the last of his pastry. That dating experience showed me it's nothing but a minefield full of disappointment, unmet expectations, bombshell surprises. Oh, I agree. Very little gratification, false solutions, and a lot less money in my wallet for nothing. I get it. And guaranteed heartbreak. Then I got smart. Why date when we can have a meetup? No hassles, no anxiety. I pay very little for your donut, and you won't have to put out. His bluntness stunned her, and she blinked quickly. I appreciate your honesty. We just sit back, have a bite, and take our time getting to know each other without pretense and other BS, like friends do. He studied her expression as if waiting to see a response. Let's say, theoretically, you and I hit it off after about 90 minutes today. You like me, I like you, our energies jive. Then it happens. His eyes held hers. There's a spark. She stopped chewing. Whoa. If we continue liking each other, we agreed to meet this way. Curious, Bonnie looked at him sideways. So this continues indefinitely? No. By the time 1 month of coffee meetups is done, we agree, if we are so inclined, to graduate to lunch. Do you talk with your mouth full? Am I rude to the wait help and a lousy tipper? Do we clean up after ourselves at a fast food joint, or do we expect their mama to do it for us? These are the little but incredibly unnecessary habits people need to learn about each other. His provocative gaze locked on hers. Before we declare a relationship and make love. Bonnie couldn't breathe. Her inner helium balloon swelled with delight. It swelled a lot. You're staring at me. He showed concern. Am I scaring you? She sat far back, had to reassess this man at a safe distance. He was dangerous, deliciously risky. What are the rules with these meetups? He broke into a wide smile, then scooted his chair closer as if desperate to reveal a secret. This month is coffee. The second month is lunch. It's mandatory we meet in a public place in daylight. No alcohol and no hugs or kisses. Oh, God, he's gay too. That high-flying balloon farted and blew away. And I'm going to leave it right here.
If only we had a Bonnie moment to help understand our partners. At the beginning, you had this moment about the coffee, and I had a response. My internal response was, is it ever just coffee? But then you hit us with the give it to me hard. And no, it absolutely is not just coffee.
Exactly. Yeah, there's I forgot, double entendres throughout the chapter and throughout other chapters too. Yeah.
But then you also use repetition, like she paid attention to his attention on her. Like that was intentional repetition. And I
right.
Yeah.
Right. And of course the references to the helium balloon and
yeah. So we have a few questions for you before we wrap up because we are nearing the end of this. So I'll go ahead and let Rick start. You want to handle the first question, Rick?
Sure. Hadley, is that okay? Your story captures a fresh start in love. How does the spirit of spring, renewal, awakening, and growth play a role in your character's journey?
Well, ironically, the story opens at the time of spring break, when Boz eventually, before he turns into a woman, against his will, of course, when he does turn, being a red-blooded straight man, during this early springtime, that's when his emotional and spiritual growth begins. How else is he to transform into an empathetic man he's supposed to be if he's stuck in the same situation, the same job, the same unsatisfied and unfulfilled lusts born of fantasy? So as Bonnie, he learns what women go through to look presentable in the workplace and to the opposite sex. How much services and clothes and makeup costs a woman, because money is of paramount importance to most men. The terror he experiences as Bonnie with her first period and the hormonal changes, and when 2 children drop into her life out of the blue, because as I said, he can't stand kids. So his patience and fear are at their breaking point. But like all of us, in order to endure trauma, we have to go through it, take one day at a time. And when he's forced to do this, his eyes are open to how women live their lives. So in other words, springtime, Easter, it's a time of renewal, new life. And so when he changes into Bonnie, he doesn't realize it, but he is going through gradually new life so that he can be a new and improved Boz.
Thank you. Hadley, do you have a question?
I do. We were just talking about National Poetry Month. So is there a quote that you have, or a poem or a line from your book that you personally love, or that captures the heart of your story?
I do, and I don't know how much time we have left, but
Not much, I'm afraid.
We don't have much. Okay. It's just, I'm just paraphrasing it. Bonnie knows that she's going to have to leave Morgan and turn back into Boz. Another spoiler alert. So she leaves him a love letter that's very devastating. It's a goodbye letter. And I think when we get any kind of notice when someone breaks up with us, it's especially heartbreaking. And so that's the flip side of love.
Oh, a Dear John letter. Yikes.
Well, thank you. I think we probably need to move to picking our April contest winners. So do we have any poems or any pranks?
So we have the Howard Stern Show was off the air and replaced with a morning zoo format. I totally fell for it and turned off after a few minutes wondering what was happening. So then realized the date was April 1st.
That's a good one. Wayne Goodman, who's that? Working at a large law firm, I authored printed April Fool's memos. One year, the memo stated the Good Friday holiday had been canceled due to an increased workload. We all have crosses to bear. Oh, no.
Yeah. That's another holiday we didn't even mention this month.
We didn't mention that.
Yeah.
Many April holidays.
Yes. We are full of April holidays. And Easter, to be fair, is not always an April holiday.
That is right.
Around, but this month it is.
And for my Orthodox Christian friends, this year, Orthodox Easter and Western Church Easter on the same day, which hardly ever happens.
Yeah.
Say that for my friend Pauline.
Wow.
We are full of holiday trivia today.
So,
Okay, so we have winner. Is that all of them, Joe?
Oh,
Okay, let's hear it. I actually did see him from across the crowded dance floor.
ooh.
and
And
Oh, intrigue. I love it.
talk about your poetry in motion.
Poetry in motion, indeed. I love
right? Yeah, what song was playing, I wonder.
it. I could write a whole book about that. I love it.
Yeah, there's your story prompt.
There it is. Yeah, it's wonderful. Whoever that was. Okay.
Well, we have winners to choose.
We do.
I think I'll award my 10 trees to Wayne Goodman.
Excellent choice.
My story prompt is getting that. I love that. I now want to. I want the rest of that line. So yes.
Yeah, well, I will give the stickers to the Howard Show or the Howard Stern Show entry. Because, yeah, I mean, that, can you imagine you have all these people, like, that you would risk that with all of these people tuning in for your show, and then you're just like, let's just risk it and do this. That's bold. Lory, who would you like to gift?
Well, I don't know. Let's go into the chat and see. This is, Nothing's jumping out at me. Can you guys help?
I can't see the chat.
So there's the story about the Howard Stern Show. There's the story about the Good Friday being closed down, like the holiday canceled due to increased workload.
We all have our crosses to bear. That was
yeah, that was just so funny.
I'm going to leave it to you guys because I'm new here. I'm a guest, so.
All
right, Hadley, you choose.
To help us understand our partners. I like that one that just came across. Joe, who said that? If only we all there you go right there. I think that one.
Yeah, that works. Because that's about your story, Lory.
Okay. I'm trying to figure stuff out on my phone.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. We will handle it. You know what?
Okay.
All we need you to do is thank everyone for being here and tell the listeners and audience how they can best keep in touch with you and stay abreast of the work that you are doing.
Terrific. Yes. Thank you so much for having me here, Tonya and company. I really enjoyed it, for this opportunity to share it with people who don't know about It Happened One Morning, my book. And yeah, it's just, it's been really great. For those of you who want to get in touch with me, want to learn more about this book and another book that I've written, I'm at www.lahyderjones.com, all one word. And I always look at my email and my website too. So thank you again.
Hadley?
You can find me, like I said, on all platforms. If you're looking for me, easiest to find me is always on Facebook.
And
Rick?
I think I'm just going to wrap up. I want to remind people that we do this every month. In May, we're here the third Sunday. This Sunday, we had a special date. We're back to our third Sunday, which would be May 18th, same time, whatever time zone you're in. And don't forget our annual contest to win a library of books from the whole year from all 12 programs. And
Library
thank
love.
you very much for coming.
And in May, we have the guest Bryn Donovan joining us.
Oh, very nice.
That'd be great.
Yes. Yes. Well,
All right,
thank you
thanks,
everyone
everybody.
for being here. You can find us across social media, check out our websites, go buy all of these beautiful books and celebrate love. We'll see you next month.
See you next time.
See you.
Bye, everyone.